Shine Wild Pack, it's Bernadette, and I'm here with your Pick a Card Tarot reading for Saturday, May 8th, 2021. Woo! What a week it's been so far, and it's not even over. Today's just Saturday, and then we got Sunday, and then woo, we're going to do the magic all over again. This week has been intense, y'all. The magic, the messages, the synchronicities. I don't even know if I'm going or coming. I mean, that's most of the time, but this week in particular, it's like the universe is trying to herd us or something. Get along, little doggies. Get along, little doggies. Because just the massive messages that are reaching massive amounts of people, it's craziness. And I'm very grateful to be a part of it. I'm very humbled to be a part of it. And I'm very grateful for what I've gotten out of it as well. You know, I hope that you all get a lot out of these readings. And everything that, you know, the animal allies put out there in the world. But I get back quite a bit too. And I'm just so grateful for that this morning. I don't even know how to put it into words. Now, before we move on, let me just say this. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Hit that button. You know, make sure that you subscribe. Make sure that you get the alerts because more and more magic is unfolding on my channel every day. I'm rolling out a whole new content plan and lots more is going on. And so also get on over to gatheringofmystics.com, which is my forums. People are always asking my advice. They're always asking for, you know, something on something that they think I'll know. And that's where I go to share. And that's where I go to commune with everybody. So gatheringofmystics.com, and certainly pick up your copy of the Arcanimal Tarot and Oracle deck. That is the deck that I read from. It's my own award-winning history-making deck. And so here we go for the Saturday reading because it's nuts. All right. So let me just say this. So Koala has come out for you all today, and everybody calls it Koala Bear, but I was corrected a long time ago. First of all, koala bears or koalas are not bears; they're marsupials. That's number one. But number two, Australian people take great offense to when you call a koala bear a koala. They don't like it, and I only know that because earlier on, you know, when I was doing all of this, I got lots of emails from Australians. You know, like, don't call it that. They would get really pretty ugly about it. So I was like, oh, I didn't get it. I got it. I stopped. Okay. So the first thing that's going to bring up for y'all this morning is, and this is not Koala, this lesson is not about what you call others. It's about what you allow people to call you. And what that means is if you've got people in your life that are not thinking that you are smart enough or this enough or that enough, they're labeling you in a way. Now, they may not call you a name to your face, or they might not amend your name, or they might not, you know, that kind of thing. But if the sentiment is there, it's time to stop it. No. The other thing that I was really struck with this morning is I've always been very fascinated with the Aboriginal culture. Fascinated. Even, I mean, if you were going to measure things, even more than the Native American culture in America, and maybe that's because I grew up around that culture a lot. When you grew up in Ocala, Florida, and everything in Florida is very much rooted in history of the Native American culture, that kind of thing. It just was, I don't know. I don't know. All I'm saying is I had access to that culture very early on, but not to the Aboriginal culture, which I've always been fascinated with. And this is the first time this has ever come out like this in any reading ever when the koala card has come out, which is there is something about the Aboriginal culture, and in particular the music and the dance, the didgeridoos and the ritual and the celebration, that it's going to be important for you this coming week. And I'm hearing it's going to span the whole week, starting today and then moving to the rest of the week, you know, next week. It's going to be really important for you. So take some time. You know, it doesn't have to be forever long, but take some time and read up on the Aboriginal culture, in particular their music, ceremonies, and dance. And that's really going to strike a chord in you somehow. Now, the other thing that's coming through today is I don't ever use my platform to push an agenda. Now, when I say that, what I mean is this. I do push the agenda of we're all here. Everybody that tunes into me and knows that, yes, I'm a tarot reader, an intuitive tarot reader. And yes, I got my start as a psychic medium, you know, in particular an evidential medium. But my heart, my calling, what I was called upon to do in this world, what my sacred contract is to lean very much into spirit, totem, and power animals in the natural world and shamanism and that kind of thing. So I always make it clear, you know, at the end of my videos, I always say, do good for animals, including yourself. And that's true. And I did run my Kickstarter through April so that it would bring awareness to April being prevention of cruelty to animals, including human animals. But I don't harp on it, and I don't ever bring in any other agenda. Climate change, environmental things, politics, those are big no-nos on my channel. We're not going to have flame wars over that on my channel. We're just not. However, for the first time ever, Koala has asked me to, oh man, this, okay, I'm just going to say it. As you probably remember, last year or the year before last, the time is running in, especially with this COVID thing, the time is running into each other. The terrible fires in Australia decimated like 3 billion animals. 3 billion, you guys. That's just an estimate. They don't have any proof of that, but that's an estimate. It could be a little high. It could be a little low. It doesn't matter. Anything that's over one animal is too much, but 3 billion, it just rips my heart right out of my chest and throws it on the ground for somebody with size 15 boots to just grind into the ground. And for the first time ever, I am being asked to ask you all to be supportive of any environmental anything Australia-wise that you can do. And here's how this happened in my head when I was in my journey, my shamanic journey, when I was journeying with the animals, well, with Koala this morning, and how this unfolded. Let me tell you this. So, you know, listen, it's in my book. It's in the ARC book. There's an extended koala description coming out in the new book. And again, thank you to everybody who pledged the Kickstarter. It was just really generous, and I just can't wait till you get this book. And you can still pre-order the book. It's not the same price that it was on during the Kickstarter, but you can pre-order the book. It's in the comments below, and the link to pre-order the book. And so I was taken over to Australia, and it showed me during the fire. I don't have any words for what that feels like or what that looked like. I just don't. It was horrifying. That's the best I can come up with. And then it showed me a very fast transition through, after, and to now. And to me, it's equally as horrifying, if not more so. It would be one thing if the fire had started and then stopped, but it didn't. It just went on. And so koala numbers are on the decline, like you can't imagine. And has that stopped the deforestation over there? No. Has it stopped the nonsense over there? No. And so I am being asked to ask you to donate anything that you can to any, and I wasn't shown a particular charity or a particular cause or whatever, anything that resonates with you about helping the wildlife, in particular in Australia. And here's how this unfolded. Let me just say, let me go through the rest of the story. So, you know, I think I've learned at this point not to be resistant to the messages that come through from the animal spirit guides. It's fruitless. It's pointless. It makes no sense. That's not my job to interpret. It's not my job to filter, and it's not my job to censor. My job is to just let it flow, let the messages flow through me, be a hollow bone. That's it. So what that then brought me into was, and we've talked about this a lot, I think, for the past few months. It's just been so much on the mind of spirit, and in particular the spirit animals, is abundance. Scarcity mindsets, abundance, lack, perception of lack. Even if you're in a tough time, you can afford 50 cents. You can afford $1. And I know this because when I was growing up, to even say we were, now, we were not poor like some people are poor, but we were pretty poor. But somehow my mom always scraped together the money every Christmas to give a family that was in a worse way than us. She would buy their Christmas dinner. That was a big deal. She'd have to save for months to be able to do that. Like literally y'all, months. But even if you can just give $1, you can give $1, because and I said this to somebody the other day. I don't think they'll ever talk to me again. I'm sorry for that, but I don't think, the truth is the truth. They smoke. They buy cigarettes. And they were witching, wailing, and moaning about this and that and the other, about money, about... I mean, they must have been through 5 cigarettes while we were talking. And all I could hear in my head every time they would take a puff and then put one down in the ashtray, cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. That's all I could hear in my head. So I listened and I listened and I listened, and they said, you know what? Here's the question I want to know. I just want to know what is my block to abundance? And I said, or wait, see, I don't even know how to smoke. I couldn't even do it right, even just miming it, right? I said, that's your problem. Oh, you're going to lecture me on how it's bad to smoke and how it's this and that. I said, no, I'm not. I'm not lecturing you about anything. You paid me for a reading. You paid me for a reading. That's what I'm doing. I'm reading you. You asked me what your block was, and I'm telling you now. This is what's coming to me. It doesn't have anything to do with you smoking. It doesn't have anything to do with your health, except for your mental health. And I am not a mental health counselor, coach, nothing. I'm not a medical professional of any kind, but here's the story. And I told this person, every time you do this, when you jam, I said, you've been through 3 or 4 cigarettes. So we've only been on this reading for 15 minutes. My God, you're like, my God, you're like a steam engine. And I said, every time you do that, I'm listening to money go down the toilet. And what that tells me is your priorities are messed up. They are not in alignment. They are not in harmony. They're not. They're just broken. Your priorities. Liz! She was so mad. I was like, okay, listen, why don't we just stop this here and I'll give you your money back? No, I know you're a good reader. I know you're a good reader. I'm like, well, I don't think you think so far. And this person was like, well, but. Anyway, here's where I'm going with all this. You have $1 to give. And as you give $1 and you let go of that $1, you'll find another $1 and another $1. And all of a sudden, your mindset about abundance, where you receive it from, how you can receive it, how you'll get it, how you'll keep it, why, but it will change drastically. Start with $1. If you have to start with 50 cents, do 50 cents. If you smoke, if you drink, if you buy extras, if you do this, if you do that, I know what it's like to have to buckle down to absolutely bare bones minimum just to be able to put any kind of food in your belly. And those animals in Australia now know what it's like to look out where their homes once were and see nothing but a wasteland. They're watching their brothers and sisters disappear. They're watching their mothers and fathers disappear. They know what it's like. You're being called to help rebuild this world and start with Australia. I don't know why that's coming. I don't know why that's coming through today. It's never come through in a reading before, ever. I do not use my channel. I do not use my newsletters. I do not use my audience to promote agendas like that. I just don't. It is the very, very few and far between I'll ask for a give. Kickstarter. It wasn't a give to me. It was a purchase of a product. This is a give. I'm asking you, if it's only $1, find something that has to do with Australia and please give it. And whatever that is going to unfold from that is going to be amazing for Australia, the animals of Australia, and amazing for you. This has been a very different reading. I hope that it can help you. I appreciate you so much for tuning in, and the animal allies appreciate you also. So, again, subscribe to my YouTube channel, pick up a copy of the Archanimal Tarot and Oracle deck. And as always, one of the most important things, to do good for animals, including yourself, and stay wild.